Hello there, welcome to my humble little channel. My name is Adam Weir, and I want to talk about something that humans have been asking themselves for a very long time. What happens after death? Now, just to be clear, I don't know, and nobody knows because, well, nobody has died and come back to tell the story of what they've seen. Well, actually, that's a lie. There are people who have had near-death experiences or have died and have been brought back to life, and their stories are... There's all sorts of different stories out there, but what I personally believe, right? Now, I don't know, and I'm not going to pretend to know, right? This is just a theory. I believe we all live as gods, right? We're all gods in unique forms and expressions. We choose our reality. I don't mean we choose how reality functions and its laws, but we choose what we want to believe, what we want to worship, what we want to pray to. I don't pray, I don't worship anything. Because I don't believe in a god outside of myself. Well, I do, but I don't. That's complicated. I won't get into that. But what I think happens when we die is that not only do we get to sort of choose what kind of reality we want, because as God, as conscious creators, as the universe itself in physical form, we we make our reality, right? We choose what we want to become, who we want to be, where we want to go when we die. And the reason why I like this idea, the idea that we choose our afterlife, of course, I do believe karma is a thing. I do believe if you've done bad in your life, you have to kind of make up for it in the afterlife, or maybe you have to reincarnate or something. I don't know. I'm not going to claim to know, right? There's so many perspectives to have in this idea. But I like to think that we say I had a friend, right, who believed in the Greek gods, right, and he said his spiritual mother was Aphrodite, and I'm not saying he was wrong. I believe that was true for him. I think that his reality, his soul chose that to be his reality. Thus, he's now passed on. He died of cancer, unfortunately, and he's now with his spiritual mother Aphrodite. I do not doubt that. However, I believe when I die, I'm still trying to figure out who I am. I'm still trying to figure out what I believe. I know what I believe. I believe that everything is God. I know that much, but I don't know what the afterlife is. I don't know what. I like to imagine we leave our bodies consciously and we get to choose our reality. Sorry, I'm talking in circles here. I apologize. But it's subjective to who we are and what we believe and what we choose to make our reality, because the reason why my friend who died of cancer, rest in peace my friend, he he had experiences with Aphrodite, like, and I don't know if he had like dreams about her or anything like that, but he got like little signs and messages from the universe, which the universe itself is like the god, like the universe itself. You can't, like, even if you're a scientist, right, and you don't believe in like religion or spirituality, you can't deny that there is a an external force that governs the universe, which we can call God, but God is a very watered down word. When people think God, they think of a bearded man in the sky that controls everything. When I think of God, I like to think of God as being the universe itself. And we are that consciousness incarnated in human form. So when we die, we make up for our karma, our misdeeds, our sins in life. I don't know why I've done that, to be honest. I'm not trying to dump on Christianity or anything like that, but because sin is a very real thing, and sin is a thing that's not just it's not just about God. It's ourselves. We're sinning to ourselves, not singing, sinning. We're sinning to ourselves when we be wrathful, we be greedy, we be lustful, we're betraying ourselves because we're not being obedient to our highest good. Not necessarily God, but to our higher self, which is the universe, which is in turn you. Like, there's no separation, right? The separation of you and the universe or God or whatever your deity is, there's no separation. That's just an illusion, so that the game that we're playing is very well convincing, because we're all dreaming, right? We're all dreaming. We're all a dream in the universe's mind, and we are playing a really grand game of hide and seek with ourselves or something. That's kind of like Alan Watts' philosophy. I really like Alan Watts. I really like his ideas. So when we die, we choose we choose our reality. We go to maybe like we sort out our karma, then we go to heaven. Heaven, I don't know if it's a physical place in the universe, like another planet where all the conscious entities there are awakened and enlightened and are all in harmony with each other, or if it's a different dimension altogether. I don't believe in higher dimensions simply because the two dimension, right, a piece of paper or a video game, there's no living things within it. Therefore, if there's a fourth dimension, that would suggest that there's living things within it because we are living things within the third dimension. So this is the only dimension. But there's other planes of existence like the astral realm, which I don't believe is a higher dimension. It's like how do I explain this? I don't know, to be honest. That's something I'm still trying to figure out in my head. So we sort out our karma, we ascend to a higher plane, we become God once again, and we go on another adventure. Maybe we reincarnate on Earth or another planet. Maybe your soul, your perspective on consciousness chooses to go to heaven, maybe a blissful place. However, heaven is pretty boring. Let's face it, right? I mean, imagine being in a church 24/7 and hearing this beautiful music and Bible verses all the time. That would drive you insane, right? So this is why reality is so unpredictable, so that it remains interesting, so that we're engaged and we're playing the game, and we are invested emotionally and physically within the game that we're playing, because we're all that consciousness pretending to not be that consciousness. We are God pretending not to be God, and that when you realize that, you realize there's nothing necessarily to fix other than your habits, right? You want to be obedient to not necessarily God outside of yourself, but what you know is best for you, your inner child, I guess you could say. Be obedient to your inner child, but of course, don't. It's not like a one way thing. You're not praying or worshiping an external being. You're doing it for yourself. I don't pray. I don't worship anything, but I do believe, or I don't believe, but I know there's a external force that governs the universe, and that is everything within the universe, everything external to you, like a stranger saying something that you needed to hear, or maybe a song lyric, or maybe a video, or a line in a book or something. It doesn't have to be the Bible, it can be any book. Trust me, when I was psychotic, I won't even get into that, but I was seeing crazy things in books, and you could argue it was a hallucination. However, hallucinations happen within the universe's construct, therefore they are reality in a less literal sense, if that makes sense. It doesn't make sense, but it makes sense in my head. So to answer the question, what happens when we die? I believe we choose to an extent. I don't believe there's a cosmic judge. I believe we are that cosmic judge for ourselves. We are the authority in our own reality, and we are here to love, to learn, to grow and evolve as spirits, so that we can. It's all for fun, to be honest. That's the whole point. Just have fun in life, because that's what it's all about. We're the God child trying to escape the pain of eternal boredom, because like I said, heaven is very boring. Maybe not heaven in the sense that like if I imagined heaven, I'd like to imagine it's a place where everything goes hunky dory and everything's great. But I'd still like a taste of action. I'd still want to fight people. I like sparring. I don't spar. I'm not sparring at this moment in my life because I don't have anyone to spar with. But I like to train fighting. I like to challenge myself, and that's what makes life interesting, because there's challenges. It's what makes it meaningful, because we give it meaning by creating the universe with its flaws, so that we can understand it and understand ourselves and understand how beautiful the light is, so that we don't take it for granted. This whole video was supposed to be just talking about death. However, I just went on a complete tangent and other things, so I'm not going to title it about death. I'm going to title it something else. I don't know what. I'll think of that when I'm about to upload it. But yeah, that's just some ideas for you. Do what you want with them. Call me crazy, call me delusional. I don't care, because it's just my perspective, and I can't be that crazy because, well, there's people who believe that a man lived 2,000 years ago that walked on water and healed the blind and arose from the dead after 3 days. If there's people that believe that, how crazy can I be? You know? But maybe they're right. Maybe Jesus was God, but I just don't believe that personally because it just doesn't make sense to me. I like things to make sense. I take religion and science and smash them together and create what most people would call spirituality, or another word I like to use, almonism, where you take the good bits of all religion and create your own sort of religion out of it and create your own reality, your own belief system, because I like things to make sense. I like things to be measurable. You know, I don't just blindly believe things. My wisdom is based off experience and my deep meditations and the way that I perceive the universe in a unique lens that I just seem to have for some reason. And it can be a little bit annoying because it can be really intense sometimes. Like it keeps me awake at night thinking about these things. And you could just say, I just don't think about it. But it's not as easy as that, you know. But yeah, that's all I have for you. I hope this video was interesting. Like, comment, subscribe, share. That's the first time I'm ever saying that because I'm desperate for views, because I don't get any views and it's so annoying because I'm trying so hard. Maybe I need to be more clickbaity or something, or freaking edit my videos to some degree, but I don't have time. I do have time for that. I'm just too lazy, you know what I mean? These videos aren't supposed to be fancy and flashy. They're just supposed to be me, just the raw, unfiltered me. That's what these YouTube videos are that I'm creating, alright? So, anyway, I'll leave you alone now. Stop getting high on YouTube. Start getting high on life. May the universe guide you, which it will. To the great attractor and back, I love you. Mwah.